Hi guys! Today, I'm going to share one of the methods on how we catch fish in the beaches here in the province in the Philippines. This method has been like this for many generations, and according to the stories of our grannies, during the time of their grannies, money was not that important in the old days because fishermen and farmers trade by items here. Like, for example, fishermen will trade fish for chickens and rice. That's how it works during the old days. The fishing method that I'm going to feature today is locally called Taksay. This method is unique in this place because of its original design that somewhat looks like an ancient Egyptian boat. I believe you can only see these types of boats and nets here in this place called Naisud and some villages nearby. This traditional fishing method has been like this for many generations, and according to the elders that we asked, they didn't even know who started it, because people were already doing that method before they were even born. We chatted with some of the fishermen, and they told us that this fishing method is only applicable in sandy beaches, with deepness that is gradually sloping, and there should not be any corals or rocks because it will tear down the net if it happens to pass through the rocks or corals. So maybe that's why this fishing method is not being used in the neighboring beaches that I've featured in my previous vlog, because those beaches are full of rocks and corals. This fishing method is a very efficient way of catching fish, because once the fish spotter sees an rota, which is an Aklanon word which means a school of fish, he will use a horn like this to call for help from the people in the village. This horn is made out of shell. They just put a hole in it right here, where you can blow and vibrate through your lips like this. That's it. Yeah, sort of like that. So, once the villagers hear the horn, anyone who's willing to help will gather around and help deploy a boat like this. Some of the Taksay helpers will ride and row the boat to chase and encircle the school of fish that was spotted by that fish spotter guy. And some will remain at the end of the beach to hold the start of the casted net. As you can see, everyone has their own task in deploying the boat. Some will haul and set the railings, some will position the rollers, some will align the rollers with the help of a wooden mallet, and others will help push the boat towards the shore. It is complete teamwork to deploy this boat, and it's been like this for generations. You can really see the harmony of the people living here, working together to accomplish something needed for their daily lifestyle. There are 3 remaining Taksay boats here in Naisud, and only 2 are functional at the moment. Luckily, I happened to observe the whole fishing process from start to finish. And here's what I've observed. This is the stage of the Taksay process where the crew of the boat will row the boat as fast as they can to form a semicircle net casting parallel to the beach shoreline. The purpose of that is to trap the school of fish inside the casted net. After the net is fully casted, the crew will rush to row the boat as fast as they can towards the shore to prevent the school of fish from escaping the net. But in today's Taksay casting, the fish spotter didn't spot any school of fish, but they still go ahead with the net casting without assurance of catch. This method is called patapang, meaning paswerte, or fish by luck. While the boat crew is rushing towards the shore, the other end of the casted net is being held and pulled by another group of Taksay helpers. At this time, the net is now fully casted. A continuous net lead line will be dropped until the boat reaches the shore. When the boat reaches the shore, the crew will disembark and will prepare for the next stage of the Taksay procedure, which is the pulling of the net. The crew and other Taksay buligs or helpers waiting at the shore will now pull the net towards the shoreline. This Taksay stage is the longest stage. Usually, it takes hours to pull the net depending on the number of buligs. Sometimes, the strength of the sea current and waves drag the net and will make it harder for the Taksay buligs to pull. In some cases, the Taksay helpers will call for reinforcements and will sound the bujong to call for more help. This happens in some cases, especially for big catches. So these are the Taksay buligs. There are two sets of Taksay buligs on each end of the lead line. They will have to pull more than 100 meters of rope before they reach the actual net. They need to reach the end of the net as soon as possible to completely enclose the catch inside. In some cases, another set of Taksay buligs will swim at the side of the net rope and create a water disturbance to prevent the fish from escaping the side of the net. This is the second team of buligs pulling the other side of the net lead line. As you can see, buligs or helpers in this Taksay casting is somewhat outnumbered. If it's not enough, it will take more time to fully pull the net to the beach. Since this Taksay casting is fish by luck or patapang, it is normal that only a few buligs joins. Both groups of Taksay helpers will meet at the center as they keep pulling on the net. As you can see, the edge of the net is just a few meters away from the beach. At this moment, we can say that the fish or fishes inside the casting are now secured and guaranteed catch. Well, except in some cases when the net is ruptured. It sometimes happens, especially if the catch are big fishes or the school of fish are in tons that the net can no longer handle. One of the crew members will be left in the middle of the casted net, which is called the swimmer. The swimmer will monitor the net if it's properly deployed. It is also his task to scare the fish away from the area where fishes can escape from either under or over the net. Locally, that swimmer crew is called sigbong. Sometimes, multiple sigbongs are deployed, but in patapang type of casting, they normally opt out the sigbong or the swimmer. Aside from monitoring the net, the swimmer is also in charge of the fish activity inside the net. He will closely observe the direction of the fish swim. If the fishes are swimming to the direction where the net is not yet closed, he will signal the other bulig to deploy the sigbong swimmer to scare the fishes away from the open area. The pulling of the net is more than halfway this time. They will keep pulling on this net until they reach the center where the fish bag is located. This fish bag is locally called puyo. The puyo is where the catch will be contained. The most critical part of the net casting is when the pulling gets closer and closer to the puyo, or the net bag, because during this time, the fishes panic and do their best to escape. This is also the crucial time for the swimmers because if the net gets tangled with some driftwood or some big rock, it might create a gap between the net and the sand which will give a way for the fishes to escape. We are now in the last stage of the Taksay casting, the closing and the retrieval of the puyo or the fish bag. catch will be finally secured by zipping the bottom of the net together and bringing it to the shore. Finally, we have reached the puyo. The puyo is composed of a fish bag and narrowing cylindrical net tube to guide the fish to the end of the net. The purpose of the narrowing tube is to make it harder for the fish to swim back once they reach the fish bag. As you can see, that green cylindrical net is like a funnel for a fish to go to the bag. The bag may also contain some trash. Taksay somehow helps in cleaning up our seas. This is when everyone becomes anxious. Anxious because this will now confirm if the catch is either a jackpot or not. Especially that this casting is patapang or fish by luck. Well, the catch will then be shared to all of the Taksay buligs or helpers. The buligs that I am talking about are not just those who pull the net, or man or row the boat. These buligs include the whole operations of Taksay. The group who stitches the net, those who maintain the boat, and the group that helps deploy the boat. As I have mentioned earlier, it is a complete collaboration of teamwork of buligs to operate this community Taksay thing. We all know Philippines is an archipelagic country. In the very old days, every ethnic group is independent from each other. They have built a system of livelihood on their own. These were times when government interference is not available yet. It is sad to say that today's catch isn't so good. I mean, not good. Seriously, I feel bad. 75% of the catch is pufferfish, which is extremely poisonous. Though this can be eaten, one should be extremely an expert in preparing or cleaning this fish. One mistaken preparation could poison an entire family, just like what happened to one of the families in the nearby villages here. Well, the Taksay fishermen just returned the pufferfish to the sea. It would not be worth it to take risk eating them. Well, I've shared with you the story on how we catch fish for our food here in the province. In the city, we just buy this from the groceries or markets. We didn't know the hard work of our fishermen for us to have this on our table. There are lots of lessons and things that I continue to learn since we moved from city life to this amazing provincial life. While documenting this taksay, I am amazed on how everyone knows almost everyone. It's like people in the whole village are just one big happy family. Disclaimer, there is no such thing as a perfect family, okay? Since Philippines is surrounded by waters, we expect of course for a regular abundant catch for our fishermen. But as I've learned from them, their catch is becoming lesser and lesser every year. Maybe it's because of the big commercial fishing vessels that catch the fishes from ocean or deep sea. Fishers now have a lesser chance to reach the area where our small fisherman is capable of fishing. Or maybe nature can no longer handle feeding all the people in the world. Well, it's just my theory. Well, that's it, guys. That's the end of my Taksay documentary blog. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave you with a video of another Taksay boat that is returning to its dock after a long Taksay casting. And as I always say, if you like what you see, subscribe.